Hello, in this video, I'm going to write a Python script to list the buckets, right, in my AWS account, right? So I'm going to be using VS Code. So let me open my VS Code. So I already created this folder called Python task, right? So the next thing I'm going to be doing is I'm going to create a new file and I'm just going to call it list buckets.py, right? So the .py extension shows that is a Python script, right? I'll hit enter and um, so let me just go ahead and write the script, right? So the first thing I want to do is to import a um, a software development kit called Boto3. So I'm going to type, let me increase my screen size. Okay, I'm going to type import Boto3. So, and when writing scripts, it's good convention to put comments, right? So what is Boto3 doing? Boto3 is just a software development kit that allows our Python script or our Python to interact with AWS services like S3, EC2, DynamoDB, right? So this is Boto3. It allows us to be able to interact with AWS services. So in this case, we want to list the buckets in our S3, which is simple storage service, right? So the first thing is import Boto3. Then the next thing is I need to create a an object, a resource object to allow me now to interact with S3 service in particular now. So I'm narrowing down to, I want to interact with S3 service. I need to create a resource object to allow me to interact with S3. If I want to delete a bucket or list the bucket or create the bucket, I need to create that resource object. So I'm just going to call it S3 underscore resource, right? And this is going to be equal to Boto3. So I'm calling the SDK, which I already imported, Boto3 dot resource, right? Resource. Then I'll put parentheses. Then I'll put S3, right? So this is the service, the AWS service I want to interact with, right? S3. So now, just like I said, it's good convention to put comments. So I'm going to put comments this. So the comment will just be to create a resource object that allows us to interact with S3 services, right? S3 service, like, if I want to delete, if I want to, let me bring this down. If I want to delete, if I want to list, so this is it. Create a resource object that allows us to interact with S3 service, like deleting, listing, creating S3 buckets. So the next thing I'm going to do is that I'm going to write just two lines for loop to list the buckets, right? So I'm going to do for, so I'll just put a variable, I'll just put PUC for buck in. Or you can put this bucket, you can put anything, maybe just B or something. It's just a variable, right? For bulk in this in this um S3 resource, right? So S3 resource. So I'm now going to put dot bucket dot buckets dot all, right? Then colon, then I'll hit enter and 1, 2. Um so I put the indentation is very important, right? So it's just under the B, right? So I want to print all the, so for each of the buckets in this, in this, I want to print all the name, right? The name, I want to print buc dot name, right? So this will be the Python script, right? So I'm just gonna come to File, and I'm gonna save, right? So now to run this script, there are some things that one should have done, like you need to have AWS CLI installed, right? So I already have that, and credentials configured so that I will be able to interact with AWS. I already did all that. So this video is majorly focusing on writing this Python script. So let me come to terminal and then new terminal. Let me come to new terminal. Let me bring this down. So yeah, just gonna do, if you do AWS, oh no, it's not. I made a mistake here. Let me kill this terminal, create another one. New terminal. Okay. So AWS version, right? So you see that I have AWS installed. You see AWS CLI command line interface. So you need to have this installed, right, on your, and to install it is just you install it on your computer, and you do all the configurations. So now to run this script, right, I'm just gonna do Python is a Python, Python. Then I'll put the name of the script, which is list bucket.py, right? List bucket.py. So we're gonna run this script, and you see that it will bring out the name of the bucket in my AWS account, right? So says, let me see, list buckets. Okay, so there should be an S here, right? So I just put bucket. So let me do S bucket. So Python list bucket.py, and enter. So you see that these are the buckets in my AWS account, right? So I have this bucket, the name, right? So these are the buckets there. So let's just go to my AWS account to confirm that. So I'm here on my AWS account, right? And if I come to S3, right, which is the service, so let's just see the buckets. So these are the buckets, right? 1, 2, 3, which correlates with what we have in our outputs over here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's just it, how to write a simple Python script to interact with AWS services, specifically using Boto 3.